Eric Cates, 32, of Hansville, Alabama, was in the process of turning his life around. The jokester who could make anyone laugh had his fair share of issues with substance abuse in the past. However, not only was he working on staying clean, but he was also determined to make a stable life for himself. He was described as a hard worker by everyone. Cates was last seen alive about 8 p.m. on March 20th, 2015, at the Blue Store, where he filled up his truck with gas. He was clean and his truck was clean. He was dressed to go somewhere, said a family friend, Crystal Corley, who worked at the store. Cameras on the side of the gas station showed Cates going down Coon Creek Road towards Hill Road, which leads into neighborhoods and eventually to the Old Empire School. On March 21st, 2015, 32-year-old Eric Cates and his beloved dog Gypsy were found murdered behind the Old Empire School, which had been closed for a while. The school was located in the tiny Walker County town of Empire, Alabama. The area where the truck was found was also known as a high crime area, where people were allegedly making meth. Hunters found their bodies burned in the cab of Eric's truck. Their murders remain unsolved, even though the crime is rumored to have been witnessed by a large crowd of people. There are many things that went wrong with this case, such as the police not taping off where the truck was found. They were also irresponsible with evidence found in the truck and leaving evidence behind. Gypsy could not be autopsied. Eric's report wasn't much better, as it didn't classify the case of his death. Yet it did unveil that Eric was completely clean of any toxins, aka drugs, and there was evidence of soot in his lungs, meaning that he was alive when he and his car caught on fire. Initially, the incident was perceived as a possible accident or an overdose, but it soon began being investigated as a homicide. Although the sheriff's office seemed that they would be able to bring the matter to a close, years passed without a concrete suspect or arrest, and the case went cold. In fact, around 2016, Eric's mother, Toby Stover, stated that the county officers didn't adequately manage her son's case. She also added that they didn't even communicate with her on her son's father or her son's father. Ultimately, in 2019, this mystery was handed over to the State Bureau of Investigation before the Alabama Attorney General's office got custody and gave it to the Cold Case Unit. In early June 2021, 55-year-old James Bryan Harlan of Jefferson County was officially recognized as a person of interest. It, it has been reported that he was once Eric's boss. They had a big fight just before he was found murdered with his dog. James is already in custody, having been arrested on April 15, 2021, for willingly giving false information to the police. But he has not yet been charged for Eric's slaying. What precisely led to his apprehension has not been made public knowledge. However, we do know that he was on probation after pleading guilty to drug possession in 2018 and getting a 5-year suspended sentence. The probation required James not to commit any new offenses or possess any weapons, but he violated both. The probation required he not commit any new crimes, which was violated with the new misdemeanor charge. When police went to serve him with the warrant, there were 2 firearms in plain view, also a violation of probation and state law. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is now involved because of the presence of the weapons. We should James is only one person of interest in a list of several others, most of whom have not been publicly identified. Jael Hamblem was born in Washington State and spent the first 14 months of her life in foster care before being adopted. She was raised in her Alaska, and she also spent time in Washington with her father after her parents divorced. Growing up, she struggled with cognitive, social, and developmental delays, and she was eventually diagnosed with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. Hamlin's mother stated she began rebelling in her early teens, dropping out of high school and then running away from home for the first time at the age of 17. However, her family stated that the birth of her son gave her purpose in life and led her to become a more responsible person. and they don't believe she would have just abandoned him. Her mother filed for custody shortly after Hamlin's disappearance and is now raising the boy. Hamlin was last seen in the Trail Sail Loop area in southern Anchorage, Alaska, on October 11, 2014. She and her roommate, Kendra Vincent Estrada, went out to dinner together and returned home before 10 p.m. Estrada's children and Hamlin's infant son were being babysat by Estrada's mother at the time. Hamlin was thinking about going out again, and her roommate decided she was going to go to bed. That night, Hamlin was upset because a man that she was interested in had rejected her. She texted a male around 1:40 in the morning saying she was crying and wanted to get together with him. And then she exchanged text messages with yet another man shortly after 3 a.m. This is the last time anyone had heard from her. Estrada texted Hamlin the next day around 10:32 in the morning, and Hamlin didn't respond. At noon, Estrada knocked on the door and discovered she was gone and the bed was unmade. She had taken her purse and her cell phone with her, but left her vehicle, a 1998 Ford Expedition with the Alaska license plate GF8641, parked in the driveway. She didn't have a driver's license, but she did have a learner's permit. Estrada initially assumed Hamlin had gone out the night before and stayed out all night or left home early in the morning. She texted her twice during the afternoon, but still got no response, and calls to her phone went straight to voicemail. Hamlin has never been heard from again. A later analysis of her phone showed that neither Estrada's text messages on October 12th were received, meaning Hamlin's phone was either turned off or the battery had died. She was reported missing by her mother on October 14th. On March 2015, hikers found Hamlin's black purse buried in the snow along a trail in Chuckland, Alaska, and turned it into the police. Inside, it held her social security card and her iPhone 5. Authorities don't believe Hamlin placed it there herself. The weather on the night she disappeared was below freezing, and she didn't enjoy hiking. Authorities are investigating Hamlin's case as a possible homicide, and it still remains unsolved. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.